Hey everyone, it's Paul Barrett from the Modern Medicare Agency. Wanted to share a quick story with you. This morning, I did receive a phone call from a consumer that was trying to do some research for her husband. This lady called from Farmingdale, New York, and she wanted to know, my husband works for the VA and he wants to work as long as he can. So he wants to work past his 65th birthday, Paul, and he's going to turn 65 in August. And I'm having trouble getting a straight answer on whether I have to enroll, and I'm really terrified that I'm going to get a penalty. I hear this all the time. People are always so worried about these penalties because everybody says penalty, the internet says penalty, your neighbor says penalty, friends say penalty. It just scares the crap out of people. And the penalties are for life. So before she contacts me, she reached out to the Social Security office and they told her, if your husband wants to keep working, that's great, he can. You don't have to collect Social Security. But as far as Medicare goes, if his birthday's in August, you have to enroll before August, otherwise you'll get a Part B penalty. Can't make this stuff up. That's a crazy answer. She didn't like the answer either because she got some conflicting advice online, so she tries one more person. Her next door neighbor happens to be a licensed health insurance agent, and she knows that she does Medicare because she's seen her sitting in the local CVS with Medicare signs and all that fun stuff during the annual election period. Anyway, she knocks on the door, tells her the story. My husband wants to keep working. His birthday's in August, but he doesn't want to retire yet. What do we need to do to avoid penalties? So the neighbor says, of course, yeah, I can definitely help you. You should enroll now, get him A and B. Once he has his card, come back over and I'll put you on a good plan, all right? And most likely it'll be zero premium. You won't have to pay anything. Okay, now we have a bad answer from Social Security. We have a bad answer from the neighbor who happens to be a Medicare specialist. People love to say that term all the time, Medicare specialist. Just because, you only offer Medicare insurance certainly doesn't make you a specialist. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So now my problem is I'm trying to explain to her the correct answer. The initial enrollment period is 7 months. She's not asking about the initial enrollment period, which happens to be 3 months before August, the month of August, and up to 3 months after August. So, she had plenty of time to enroll, but that's not the problem. Husband wants to keep working. So I said, here's the good news. The VA is a large organization. There's more than 20 people, which means it'll qualify. It's credible coverage. He can continue to work for 8 months, 2 years, 3 years, makes no difference. Whenever your husband's ready to retire, he's going to get a special election to get onto Medicare, and he can enroll in Part B at that point, and he'll have no penalties. There'll be no penalties. You won't have to worry about that stuff. She couldn't get that through her head. She kept asking me over and over again, are you sure there's not going to be any penalties? I'm sure there's not going to be any penalties. Crazy. So after going back and forth a few times, I sent her a nice little email with the link to Medicare.gov showing her that stuff. I always like to use the official government site because it's probably the most accurate, even though it's boring to read. Anyway, she didn't open the email, but she did speak to her sister. And her sister said, hey, you better call that agent back because I think he's wrong. If your husband doesn't enroll in Part A, he's going to get a penalty. He's got to at least enroll in Part A. You don't have to enroll in Part A. You can enroll in Part A. It's harmless. He doesn't have an HSA. But we didn't even discuss Part A. She says if you don't enroll in Part A, you're going to get a penalty. What would 10% be of zero? Because that's the premium for Part A. She's like, zero? Exactly. So there's no penalty. Don't worry about it. Just more examples. This is what you're going to face. If you're turning 65 or retiring from work, you're going to get wrong answers from your friends, wrong answers from your neighbors, wrong answers from your coworkers. A lot of HR people don't know what they're talking about either. It's crazy. Medicare is definitely a more complex insurance than it should be and needs to be. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to get accurate information, you need to find an agent that knows what they're talking about. And sometimes it's easier said than done. I always advise checking out some local seminars, maybe a webinar, look at the agent that you're interested in speaking to, check and see how many reviews they have. If they have reviews, if they're not even on Google, that's a red flag. Do they have an active blog page, meaning are they answering questions on a regular basis for folks like you? Because that's really what my job is, right? We're not salespeople. Everyone thinks, oh, you just want to sell us a plan. I actually don't. I want you to pick a plan. I offer pretty much all the plans I can offer where I work. Suffolk County, Nassau County, anywhere in New York. I'm pretty much offering 95% of the plans available. And if you don't need one of the plans I have no problem telling you, you need to get that one. That's the type of person you want to work with. An independent agent that's unbiased, that also isn't dependent on your enrollment, right? There are some agents out there that don't do very well, and every enrollment means a lot to them. So you have to be careful. If you guys want help, answers, I encourage you to shoot us an email at medicare@paulbinsurance.com, or of course you can keep it simple. Give me a call at 631-358-5793. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day.